Good evening. So, I was talking to a friend and they were like, well, how do you add stuff to the cooldown manager? So, I figured this would be a really good way to show. So, options, gameplay enhancements. Down at the bottom, make sure it has enable cooldown manager there. And then you're going to go to advanced cooldown settings, not edit mode. We'll get to edit mode in a minute. But advanced cooldown settings, and now you've got a choice of essential cooldowns, utility cooldowns, and not displayed. If you've not messed with the cooldown manager before, it may have stuff in here. I honestly can't remember, and I'm on a character that, you know, I've already set it up, so there we go. Sorry, you guys aren't important enough for me to go and do this on a character that it's not. Uh, so yeah, for your essential cooldowns, if you have something you really want be tracking or whatever, you can pop it up in there. So you can see I've got my essential cooldowns here, and now as you can see, Soul Reaper, I'm not talented into it, so it's not going to appear. So that's pretty handy. You want to know you can always Death Strike, there you go. Um, this does not, if I recall correctly, this does not work as an extra like button bar, but I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things here, folks. But so you've got your interrupt there, all that. Okay. I'm basically watching my own bars here. I'm a terrible player, but I've got most of my stuff in places where I need it and where I can kind of keep track of it. If I feel like I need an extra edge or whatever, I might put some of these up here, especially as a bigger button, so I can kind of watch them a little more. But then here we've got buffs. And now it automatically has all these tracked buffs and stuff. But what we care more about are the tracked bars, which I have here. So I've got Sudden or Dread Plague, Sudden Doom, and Dark Transformation. I could probably take Dark Transformation off of this, but I don't really care. Ideally, what you need to do is just drop stuff into the, tracked bars. I'm going to go ahead and just move a bunch of this stuff down to not displayed because, frankly, there's a lot of stuff here that you don't really need to display. It doesn't matter that much. So we're just going to pull it all off here just to keep things nice and clean. Because well, that's something I actually want to be tracking. We'll go over that in a second, I suppose. So right here in tracked bars, that's where you're going to want to put a lot of the stuff that you really want to keep an eye on. Up to you. I mean, you can right click on it, you can add alerts, you can remove it, you can assign it to tracked buffs. Tracked buffs should appear as something else somewhere else. But yeah, like the reason I put Essence of the Blood Queen here is because it's really important when you are playing Sand Lane to want to make sure that you are tracking your essence. I don't know how often I'll be playing it, but it'll be handy when I do. You really don't need Summon Gargoyle there. I doubt anybody's going to be talenting into it. Forbidden Knowledge just for fun. Okay, so that's how you track them all. Where you also want to take a look at things is in edit mode. So like edit mode, see right here, got your tracked buffs. Here got utility cooldowns. I'm not sure why it has stuff in there already, but I'm basically hiding both of those because I'm not really going to be watching them too much. But this is your utility or your edit mode. I mean, it's where you can kind of just put everything that you're trying to track. So, I've got this bar here because that's covering my cast bar for whatever reason. If my essential cooldowns, if I have an essential cooldown, I'll put it in here and it'll have it right there. And you can have it just so it's in combat, all that. This has my boss frames over there. You know, arena frames if you want that, raid frames, you know, basically you can put everything in here that you really want to be tracking and want it to show up. So like buffs and debuffs. Now it's going to kind of show all of that there, and you can decide where you want it to be. So you can put buffs and debuffs, and you can haul it around. Oh, please tell me that. Yeah. Let's put it back here. Okay. You know, your stance bar, kind of important for if you've got stances. Your pet bar, very important for when you've got pets. Encounter bar, personalized resource display, so you can set up an extra one as opposed to the one that's just going to appear directly beneath your character portrait. Your target portrait, possess bar, that is if you are in like one of those vehicles that, you know, just leaves it kind of plain down here, but you've got this little bar that you can click on to exit vehicle, you know, that kind of deal. Extra abilities, I like that right there. You know, so really you've got a lot of options about how you would like things to be. You can put them on a grid, you can snap them, you can set your grid to stuff that makes it a little easier for you to kind of move things around. And snap to. And you can have multiple layouts and save them as different things. Mine's just called moved stuff because I am extremely uninventive. So we can just save all that, close that. Now we're out of it.
Talk to me.
Talk to the exterminator. Yes, I'll get your gadget. Your friends, blah, blah, blah. Oop. Oink. There we go. So, you can see, extra action button right there. Little things for me to step on right here. You know, so hopefully that gives everyone a good idea of just how to handle, you know, their various UI and tracking your various buffs, debuffs, and abilities when using the Blizzard default UI. Hope it was helpful, and have a good night.